The British Empire's rise to become the largest empire in world history is a fascinating story that spans several centuries and involves a complex interplay of factors, including the nation's maritime prowess, military might, colonial ambitions, and economic interests. Here's an in-depth exploration of how this small island nation managed to build an empire that, at its peak, covered nearly a quarter of the world's land surface and ruled over millions of people across multiple continents. The seeds of the British Empire were sown during the Age of Exploration, a period marked by European nations' insatiable appetite for new trade routes, resources, and territories. The British were relatively late to the colonial game, trailing behind the Spanish, Portuguese, and Dutch, who had already established footholds in various parts of the world. However, the British were quick learners and soon recognized the potential benefits of establishing their own overseas colonies. One of the earliest and most significant British colonies was Jamestown, founded in 1607 in what is now Virginia, United States. This settlement marked the beginning of Britain's presence in the Americas, and it would serve as a crucial foothold for future expansion across the continent. Throughout the 17th century, the British continued to establish colonies in the Caribbean, such as Barbados and Jamaica, capitalizing on the lucrative sugar trade. These colonies not only provided valuable resources but also served as strategic naval bases, allowing the British to project their power across the Atlantic Ocean. As the British Empire continued to grow, its naval prowess became increasingly crucial to its success. The Royal Navy played a pivotal role in protecting Britain's vast maritime trade routes and securing new territories around the globe. The 18th century witnessed a series of conflicts between Britain and its rivals, particularly France and Spain, as they vied for colonial supremacy. The Seven Years' War, 1756 to 1763, proved to be a turning point, with the British emerging victorious and gaining control over vast swaths of territory in North America, including Canada, as well as territories in the Caribbean and India. The Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, during the Napoleonic Wars, further cemented Britain's naval dominance. Led by the legendary Admiral Lord Nelson, the Royal Navy decisively defeated the combined French and Spanish fleets, solidifying Britain's control over the seas and paving the way for further colonial expansion. As the 19th century dawned, Britain found itself at the forefront of the Industrial Revolution, which had a profound impact on its ability to exert its influence globally. The development of new technologies, such as steam power and improved transportation networks, allowed Britain to more effectively exploit the resources of its colonies and transport goods and personnel across vast distances. The British Empire's insatiable appetite for raw materials and new markets fueled its expansion into Africa during the latter part of the 19th century. The scramble for Africa saw European powers carving up the continent, with Britain acquiring territories such as Egypt, Sudan, Kenya, and South Africa. The acquisition of these colonies not only provided valuable resources but also served as strategic outposts along vital trade routes, further solidifying Britain's global dominance. The British Empire would be complete without mentioning India, often referred to as the jewel in the crown. Britain's involvement in India began in the 17th century with the establishment of the East India Company, a commercial trading entity that gradually evolved into a powerful political and military force. Over the course of the 18th and 19th centuries, the East India Company, backed by the might of the British Army, steadily expanded its control over the Indian subcontinent. The decisive victory at the Battle of Plassey in 1757 marked a turning point, as the company effectively became the dominant political and military power in the region. By the mid-19th century, the British Crown had assumed direct control over India, and the subcontinent became the centerpiece of the British Empire. India's vast resources, including valuable commodities like spices, cotton, and tea, contributed significantly to Britain's economic prosperity. Additionally, India provided a strategic foothold in South Asia, allowing Britain to project its influence across the region.